Well, there you are, San Juan Travelers, and here we are in the month of December. And Reg and I'm sure, and all of us here at San Juan Travel want to wish all of you a happy holiday season. I know we can say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, whatever other holidays you may be enjoying this time of the year. We hope they're happy and safe and you get a chance to do what you like to do a lot and maybe spend some time with family. But we want to take a few moments out of your holiday schedule and give you an update on the travel. And we're going to spend a lot of time, at least I am, reviewing the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady, and we'll get into that a little bit. And then at the end of the show, we'll do our monthly drawing, and hopefully someone who wins our gift certificate will use it on a tour next year, because we are shut down now. We aren't doing anything till February cruise. We can still get you on it, right, Reg?
Yes, matter of fact, I just made a post on our Facebook page about the February cruise. There are still we still can get some spaces there. We also have that Mediterranean cruise coming up in September. So if you've been dreaming of cruising the Mediterranean, we're only a phone call away.
And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that right now, but tune in January. We have begun to put together the travel package to the cruise. And I can tell you from what I've seen, we've been able to put together, it looks very exciting. So, and not nearly as expensive as I thought it might have been. So,
yeah, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that next September as well. And but being that as it may, the general tour status doesn't seem to be getting much different. Casinos are not providing any comps for bus groups other than a couple during the week. And cruise lines are definitely mandating vaccines. And I really don't see that going away anytime too soon. The individual cruise lines have slightly different boarding procedures and controls put into place. And we'll talk a little bit about that with the Scarlet Lady. But in fact, if you aren't vaccinated, the odds are you're not cruising at least, I'm going to say, till 2023. You getting anything else out of that, Reg?
From everything that I'm looking at, the matter of fact, the cruise lines are going to kind of get a little stricter because right now, not only do you have to get vaccinated, you also have to have a negative COVID test within 2 days before your cruise.
Yeah.
So, the restrictions are going to get tighter, and as these new variants keep popping up, I don't see those restrictions getting lessened. If anything, they're going to tighten up some more.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing, and that kind of is a fabulous lead-in to talking about the Scarlet Lady and Virgin Voyages. Because they did something that I don't think any of the other cruise lines are doing. They may be, I haven't seen them. So we'll start kind of with the embarkation process for the Scarlet Lady. And one of the things that we have to talk about, Virgin Voyages operates extensively with their app, their phone app, which you really have to download on your phone to be able to function at all on Virgin Voyages. And through using the app, when you get to the embarkation process, you are to be able to schedule an on-site COVID test, which they do at their expense right at the terminal when you're getting ready to board. And unfortunately, on our day that we were boarding, the app wasn't working right away in the morning, so had that problem. And then we had trouble getting the app to come up properly when we went in for the cruise. And subsequent to that, we all discovered that the app wanted the location being the pier, not your home location, to schedule the test at. So it took a little while, and I'm not going to say good or bad about the embarkation process because it was kind of convoluted based on doing the COVID testing. Now, the COVID testing itself went very smoothly. Once you got into test, they had a whole team of people, nurses, I would assume, swabbing your cheeks and swabbing your noses, and then you went to a waiting area. You got a email that said you're positive or negative, and once you received that, you wandered in and went on board. So while I personally, Pat and I had some difficulties during the embarkation period, I would say most of them were all due to the necessity of the COVID testing. So I'm not going to say anything negative about the Scarlet Lady, just that it was be ready for being tested when you get on board. Now, the cabins. There's been a lot to talk about the cabins on the Virgin Voyages, in particular the Scarlet Lady. And I'm going to stop here. There's a ton of videos and reviews of the Scarlet Lady's voyages out on YouTube. And this is where this one will go. And some have been positive and negative about the cabins. Quite frankly, we loved them. The layout of the cabin is a little bit unique with the bed and the couch, the way it's laid out. And we found out that the stewards were very able to switch the cabin from kind of living room style to bedroom style in the evening. So during the day, we had our steward set our cabin with the living room style of cabin. And then when we went out for dinner that night, he would come in and change it over to the bedroom style. So it really made the daytime when we happened to be in the cabin very comfortable. Very nice to watch TV, do whatever we wanted to do. Also, with each balcony cabin, which is what Pat and I had, there is this hammock that swings from the balcony. And I'm not a big hammock guy, but Pat is, and I would say she was a happy little camper. She even dozed off a few days when we were at sea. And what we're going to do right now, here's a quick little couple of pictures. We are going to show you a couple of pictures. We're not going to do extensive picture shows or cameras during this little presentation today. But here's a couple of quick little pictures, what our cabin and the hammock looked like. And I hope that gave you a little bit of an idea of what these cabins look like. We found them very comfortable, kind of a nouveau style cabin. And regardless of what other folks said, we liked them. We didn't have any problems with them. Then you get to the reservation system, which is all done via the app. So if you're not computer friendly or app friendly on your phone, get your 5-year-old kid or your 8-year-old grandson, help you out with it to get comfortable, because you have to make reservations for all of the dinner reservations. That is partially a problem because frequently we couldn't get into the restaurants we wanted. But we did get into the restaurants, most of the restaurants that we felt we had to get into. The times were a little difficult to get into. Our age, we really don't appreciate eating much past 7 o'clock, and we had to take a couple of reservations close to 9 o'clock to get in. The last one we actually skipped because we decided we found out we could get into another restaurant earlier. That, I think, is one of the biggest drawbacks to the way they're doing their system. The biggest thing was, however, that there are supposedly 20 restaurants on the Scarlet Lady. only 6 of them, I believe, are really sit-down dining establishments. The rest of the 20 are located in the food court upstairs, which is, I call it a food court. They call it the galley. It's not a buffet. There are some very, very unique locations upstairs. Not being particularly a buffet couple, or really even a food court couple. We like to sit down and eat. We try to partake both breakfast and dinners as much as we could in the restaurants, and in a general sense, found all of the food outstanding, and we'll review that a little bit later at more length. But be aware, if you're traveling on the Scarlet Lady, get on the app as soon as you can, make your dinner reservations. If you haven't made them when you get on board, make reservations for them. Similarly, you need to make your reservations for the entertainment. Because the venues themselves are not large venues like you might be used to on Royal Caribbean or Norwegian or Carnival or MSC or almost any other cruise line that we know. They're fairly small, and you have to get a reservation for a time that you want to get in. Otherwise, you can go down and stand in line, and there will be seats open up. And I'll get into that in just a second. We happen to have a fabulous first entertainment night, Puddle's Pity Party. And I guess Puddles was on America's Got Talent a few years ago. He's a guy dressed as a operatic clown, does a show in mime, except when he sings, and this unbelievable operatic voice comes out with music that's people like Elton John. He did a little Queen, did a little ABBA, and all in the framework of his show, which was maybe one of the best shows I've ever seen on a cruise line. Then they had a thing called Dual Reality, which is a gymnastic show. A guy called the Nerd, who was more of a Rubik's Cube mathematician's comedian. And then the show that really sold out every time every show is called NSA, or Never Sleep Alone. It's a risque audience participation show about sleeping with the opposite or same sex. And it was sold out. We actually got in it by Pat waiting in line for 45 minutes because we couldn't get a reservation. So remember, use your app as soon as you can to make reservations and schedule what you'd like to see on your cruise. That gets us to some activities. And being our age group and the fact that we are not pool people and not clubbers where we go down and dance the night away, we are more inclined to be in the casino or be in a jazz bar. There was not an awful lot to do. Most of the activities are geared towards health and beauty. And so that not being our forte or our likes a lot, we didn't have an awful lot during the daytime. We found things to do by finding different venues. There were some entertainment going on during the day. They talk about the pop-up entertainment from the group on board. However, that primarily occurs up in the pool area, and if we're not in the pool area, obviously we're not going to see that. So, and then the nightlife was restricted to 2 different locations. One bar, a general bar called On the Rocks, and another bar which was at the heart of the ship, which was, and the name escapes me right now, the Manor. And that was supposedly their hot place, which I think is where they did more of the partying. There's also a karaoke location that we didn't partake in because it seemed like it's more for groups of people. So, but I'm sure there's plenty to do if you're a little bit younger than this dear old man. But unfortunately for us, there wasn't an awful lot of side activities. The other thing we found that being a football weekend, we were planning to watch some college football and actually some pro football, and there is no sports bar. None of the bars had TVs. In a discussion I had with the customer service group, it does appear that the Scarlet Lady is scheduled to have a sports bar early next year. So let's hope so. Especially on college day. On the pro day on Sunday, they did set up your TVs in your room and they fed in certain pro games, but there was not a wide selection. So if you happen not to be interested in the particular one set of games that they were going to stream in, nothing else was on. So just be aware that those facilities, while they may change, are not available right now. And with that, I'm going to stop again, and we're going to show you a few pictures of the ship so you can see the different areas. There's about maybe 4 or 5, the pool area, and some of the more unique areas to lounge around, of which there were plenty. So there was no areas where you couldn't relax and enjoy things. It's just the activities weren't all really significant. Well, I hope that gave you a little bit of better feel for what the ship might look like. Now we're going to focus on the dining, the restaurants. We talked a little bit about making the reservations, but overall, Pat and I just thought they were phenomenal, absolutely terrific. Now, part of my enjoyment in life is eating. So when you're talking about restaurants that serve different kinds of foods, this is the place for you. There's 4 that we partook in. One was called Razzle Dazzle, which is kind of a vegetarian slant on a lot of foods. One is called Gundae, which is a Korean barbecue. And then one is called the Test Kitchen, which we had a 6-course experimental meal, which was outstanding. And of all the courses, I do want to point out they served I think it was like a fillet. I'm not sure if it was a fillet. It was a top roast or something, sliced, cooked medium rare, which is the way I like them, and served with a blueberry type sauce and bittersweet chocolate on top and pork gravy. And quite honestly, who would think of something like that? And it was just incredible. The rest of the meal was similar. And then there's a 4th restaurant we ate at called The Wave. We did that several times for brunch. The Italian restaurant, which the food again there was absolutely outstanding. The only disappointment I had with that was it's called Extra Virgin. Was that the decor didn't seem particularly Italian. It was a little bit nouveau modern. We did not get a chance to try the pink agave restaurant, which was the Mexican. I have no doubts that the food there is just as good and just as unique as anything else that you might have tried. So be aware, if you are a straight meat and potatoes person, this probably will not make you the happiest person in the world. But if you like some variety and some unique foods, you are going to be in heaven on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady.
Sounds like a good foodie voyage.
Oh, God, yes. And I've got a couple of pictures. One in particular I want to show you. It's from the Gundae, and I'll mention a little bit more about it after I show you this picture. And that was a little picture of the Gundae, and I wanted to tell you how much fun we had. That was our first night, and they sat us with 4 other women, one of which was another travel agent. And they started us off with a little drinking game with, I always say it was Korean sake. I forget what the name of it was. And it was similar to Thumper, of some kind of counting game. And you missed whatever you were supposed to do and you took a shot. So it got us pretty well wound up beforehand. ate all kinds of food I couldn't pronounce, and enjoyed every bit of it. So it's that's kind of the way it goes on Virgin Voyages. Following that, we went to Bimini, and it's been always one of my dreams to get to Bimini, and it didn't. Yeah, I should say it really enthralled me to see the island and the waters. The private beach of Virgin Voyages is really very, very nice, very incredible. It's adult, so you don't have kids running around. You're able to sunbathe, swim, do whatever you want. Plenty of bar stations, plenty of food stations, and in reality, a very, very nice beach day for anyone that wants to go along. That night they had beach parties. Unfortunately, the wind was kicking up a little bit, and the bonfires didn't actually fire up too well. But while we went back for Bimini for the evening, Pat happened to get this incredible picture. That might be one of the most gorgeous sunsets I've ever seen. And I know Pat might even be going to use that for her Facebook background. So we thought we'd show you that. That's what it's like on Bimini at the beach. And then the last piece of the cruise was the debarking process. I've heard a couple of pros and negative comments about it. Quite frankly, it was one of the best debarking I ever had. We hung out. We went down for breakfast, had a nice leisurely breakfast. When we decided it was time to go, we picked up our carry-on parts of our luggage, walked off the ship, picked up our luggage, and walked off to get our Uber to go over and pick up a car. So it was the most stress-free debarking process I've ever seen. I really don't know how they do it, but if I got to give kudos anywhere at an 11 out of a 10, it was that process for Virgin Voyages. We've got a couple of more pictures here that I wanted to show you just about the cruise and the ship itself. So here they are, and I want to come back then and talk a little bit about who Reg and Pat and Sharon and I think this cruise line might fit. That gives you, I think, especially the picture of the rear of the ship at night gives you an idea of the sophistication we feel really is employed by Virgin Voyages. And you know, been a lot of talk about who does Virgin, who's their marketplace. I heard one YouTube video that was talking about they thought they were selling it as a partier ship, a party ship. I really didn't see that. Now, part of it could have been the big night of the Scarlet night where everyone wears red was supposed to be up in the pool area, and it was so windy that night that it had to be moved inside. I didn't see the big party scene that maybe younger, more different style of people might see. What we saw is what Reggie said earlier. If you're a foodie or you want a romantic holiday with your significant other or your wife or your husband, this might be the trip, might be the ship for you. It's an elegant, I called it nouveau, what I call it, nouveau modern or modern chic. It's a really cool looking ship, lots of places to relax. but not a lot of activities. Incredible meals. And before I forget, take advantage of the bar tab. We did, and it really does work much better than I think the bar packages on the other cruise lines work. So with that, I have pretty well taken up the entire show. Reg has got a chance to relax his vocal cords today.
Yeah, been a good day.
But we do have our monthly drawing, and Reg told me we had 164 views last month. So how about number 133, Reg?
Number 133 is Sherry Vasco.
Oh my gosh, an old friend, Sherry Vasco. If you tune in and just tell Reggie you heard your name, we don't need your address. We'll just send the gift certificate out to you. So with that, Reg, how about you giving us a parting holiday thank you?
Well, we want everyone to have a great and safe holiday. The COVID virus is picking up. We want to make sure everyone stays safe. Do what you need to do to keep you and your family safe. Enjoy the holiday and prepare for a brand new year. That hopefully they can get this COVID in control, and we can get back to doing the things that we love doing the most, which is traveling and seeing the world.
Thank you, Reg. And happy Christmas, New Year, holiday season to all of you out there. And we will see you again in 2022.
Happy holidays.